Hey everyone, and welcome back to Out of Band, a Microsoft security podcast. I'm Andrew O'Young, a modern work specialist and also a Microsoft MVP in security.
Hi everyone, my name is Shehan. I'm a Microsoft MVP in security.
And I'm Anthony Porter, a cloud security architect at Canon Business Services, specializing in the Defender and Intune space.
Cool. You might have just noticed in the tone from Shahan and myself that we're a little anxious because we're on the eve of the Microsoft MVP renewals. So we don't know what will happen in the next 12 hours. We may still be MVPs, we may not be, but yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, hopefully the
Ah,
work
look,
will speak for itself. Yeah, let's
Yeah,
see.
but the audience will find out next episode. So,
the
uh,
If
introductions
I
will
gone
just
back
be
to
a
my
little bit different.
yeah, yeah, bit somber. Yeah,
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 uh,
I think the
yeah,
work that you guys have done in the community, specifically within the community, speaks for itself. So, look,
mm,
yeah, all the fingers are crossed for you guys. Yeah, looking forward to the next episode's intros, I
yeah.
yeah.
think.
But speaking of community, we have in South Australia / Adelaide, we have just started a new Discord community server. It's the SAIT Connect. It's come about because a member of the public on the tech community has asked some of us, "Hey, is there a platform like this, for example, where people are connecting and it's the broader IT community, not so much a specific user group, but it's somewhere where people were, this word agnostic or not agnostic, but yeah, from any domain they can come together and it's a safe space to discuss tech and other things. So we'll drop the link to that server in the notes if you're in SA. If you're not in SA, feel free to join and lurk, I guess. But yeah, we built it up just to start in SA and hopefully it's gonna help the people in early career, maybe in their education piece as well, or even skilled migrants, because everybody's looking for jobs these days, and you need a place to connect with others.
I'll do a bit of a clarity there. So
Mm.
SA as in South Australia. That's
Yes,
in Australia.
not
But
South Africa,
anyone
Australia.
who's actually joining in internationally, yeah. So that's South Australia for you.
And IT is in information technology. No,
Technology. Yeah.
no. Look, I think what you guys have done is a brilliant idea. Like, I think what some of the community, like events that we, I guess, are part of and trying to push is for that collaboration and that assistance, so that, I guess that's what we're all doing, right? That's our whole driving force is trying to help others.
And just to circle back, it was actually created by Matt Clark, who we had on a few episodes back. The guy with the secure book and his email alias stuff. Yeah, so he's the main admin founder of the community, and I'm there to help out, and Sean's there as well, obviously, as part of the getting it built.
If I'm not mistaken, it's actually his birthday today.
It is actually.
Yeah, so massive happy birthday to Matthew. When this comes out, it'll be past your birthday, but we remembered, all right, mate?
Belated birthday. So,
You're welcome.
oh, dearie
I was
me.
going to
And
say,
then, yeah,
yeah. Speaking of, I guess, community and all that, yeah, it's official. I've taken up co-organizer of the Perth security meetup group. So once again, it's a monthly meetup similar to the Adelaide IT Pros, where yeah, we're doing the same thing. I just come off out of an amazing session with a guy called Tristan. He is a part of a company that specializes in, I guess, bounty hunting, or going for those bounty bug hunting within Microsoft and whatnot. And I probably learnt more in that session alone than I have in a long while. Yeah, it was amazing. But yeah, look, as I said, thoroughly looking forward to it. And I think, yeah, first cab off the rank is that myself and the other organizers are essentially pioneering, I guess we'll call it, the first global security boot camp. So what that is essentially we just came off the back of Global AI Boot Camp, which happened in May. That was a worldwide event in which the exact same day for everybody across the world had the same AI focus of having essentially just a general community-based learning around the offers of AI. What that meant was that, us in West Australia at the time, we had a public holiday weekend in which I was advised, hey, you got to put together a presentation and come over and come in on a weekend, on a public holiday weekend. But no, it was brilliant. It was one of the funnest days that I've had. There was so many people willing to share, and essentially we figured out that there was no security one. So some key figures within the Microsoft Perth office essentially got in contact and got the ability to kickstart that. So yeah, that's coming up in August. Global Security Boot Camp. I've submitted a session. Fingers crossed that it is accepted. But yeah, looking forward to that one as well. I think there's also a bunch of other community-driven events that I'm aware of that's coming up. There is we just had B-Sides in Adelaide. There is B-Sides in Perth coming up in October. I know that DDD Perth is happening in September. There's lots of events going on.
It's also is it Agent Con? Is that happening for you guys as well?
Agent Con just finished. It was
finished.
Yeah,
okay.
On the Friday. I was silly enough to put in a session, and then I realized that I wanted to build the proof of concept prior to confirming the session, and then I didn't build the proof of concept, and so I just and what I was planning on building has now been built, and it is pretty awesome. So welcome to my session idea for a global security boot camp. Yes, it does include AI. But yeah, look, I was silly enough to not do that. That was a whole day on Friday. That was at one of the universities here in Perth. So big event, lots of people that attended.
Michelle was running that one, right?
Michelle was one of the main organizers of it. Correct. Yeah.
Michelle Sanford for those.
Talking about events, I got one update as well. So there's this community that I found out through LinkedIn called the Microsoft Zero to Hero community. I believe it's an international one, but they got an Australian coordination team as well, and they were looking for speakers. It's just an ongoing thing, so I just thought maybe I'll just submit 2 sessions just to see what's going on. One was about the whole conditional access policy thing, which I actually did the presentation a couple of months ago in Adelaide, our user group, IT Pro user group. And the other one was because I'm just kind of obsessed with the whole cloud native endpoints these days. I was just doing a lot of research on that, playing around with the devices and whatnot. So I thought maybe I'll just do something about that one as well. So that one got selected. So yeah, August 5th, Adelaide time, I think that's 6:30 p.m. I got my session coming up, so getting ready for that, and kind of excited as well just to go through those things that I've learned about the cloud native endpoints, the experience, and share the knowledge with the community. Yeah, so looking forward to that.
That's generally when our user group is on it, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
The other thing I just saw before, because that is like a LinkedIn group page, they just announced that they're migrating it to Tech Community, the Microsoft Tech Community website. So check that out and join it. And I assume it'll be a similar kind of submit your talks and stuff there.
Yeah,
but just makes sense because everything is on Tech Community at the moment.
Yeah, and it can be on anything as well, so that's a good thing. I saw a lot of non-security stuff as well, DevOps and everything. So it's a good platform, I believe, for anyone who wants to talk about the stuff. Yeah.
I'm literally looking it up now because no, it sounds good. As I said, I mean, this is the joys of being on a computer whilst we're doing this. As I said, it's just one of those. I guess this is why we do what we're doing, is because we want to learn from each other and we want to make sure everybody is informed. There we go. Drop a follow. No, it's brilliant. So, do you know if they've closed the sessions or should
I think it's open until August or something. Can't really remember. I can probably jump into my session eyes
Yeah, good point. Yeah, I got a couple in there now, so I could probably just because I mean, I'd be interested in yeah, I've got a couple in the back pocket that I wouldn't mind talking about. I'll check that out later.
Yeah.
No, that's brilliant.
Playing it right now. Yeah. Keep you
Makes
posted
sense.
on that one for
Makes
sure.
sense to reuse your content before it becomes irrelevant, right?
Mm.
Whoa. No. Whoa, all
Well,
right.
well, the rate of change, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah,
Good.
everything is AI now, so that it's only relevant. No, I'd say some of my most, I guess, recent have been how I'm doing common stuff now with the, I guess, assistance of AI, where it's still my day to day, but it's assisted day to day.
Yeah. Yeah. I think sorry, Anto, actually the call for speakers has been finished 29 days ago. So
Oh,
11th of
jeez.
March.
But all right,
Yeah.
that ship sailed. No. Yeah, no. To be completely honest, I was like, if it's starting in August, it's probably finished. But I figured I would shoot the question
Yeah.
through.
Yeah. There
No,
are a lot of event dates happening, but I think, yeah, they will definitely open it up again because it's an ongoing thing.
hear me out. You guys submit sessions to Global Security Boot Camp and then fly over to WA, and yeah, now we're talking.
When was it on?
Are they
It's in
accepting
August.
doubles?
Just you guys can do a
Yeah,
duo session. It's fine.
yeah.
Yeah, we'll
No,
see. We'll see.
I'm considering like seeing if I can bring one of my like work colleagues along and as a like let's present something together because yeah the sessions are still open for another I think 2 weeks or so. So I'm like I've got one that I'll solo.
Mm.
I'm trying to like yeah I'm gonna test the water and be like yeah you should come and talk with me. I'll probably get a no, but I might get a yes, and that would make things a bit interesting. So
Yeah.
We'll look into it.
Yes.
See how it goes. Like the next month or two, it's hard to tell what happens because it's new financial year, right?
that's it.
All right.
Yeah.
What are
I
we
guess
doing today?
uh,
Next.
let's quickly whip for some other upcoming things, just because we're talking about events and dates and stuff before we get distracted by some of the news that's been going on. But just to keep it top of mind. Just remember that Windows 10 is going end of support in October, the 14th, wherever you may be. Could be the 15th, but M365 apps will probably still run on those devices for another couple of years. But end of the day, you'd probably want to start looking at moving to Windows 11. Yes, there are extended security updates, which means that you will get protection for using that Windows 10 device you have, but you won't get any new features or any anything developed on it. And I think just looking at from Microsoft's point of view, like the Secure Future Initiative and everything being security focused first, I believe they are offering extended security updates for consumers as well. So you have a couple options. You can pay, I believe it's around $30 USD to get it. Otherwise, you can redeem your Microsoft Rewards points. It's 1,000 points. If you hadn't seen it before, look up Microsoft Rewards, and effectively, if you just search using Bing or an Edge browser, you get points per day. And there's some bonuses if you do certain tasks or keep a streak, another daily streak to maintain. But 1,000 points is is a lot cheaper than $30 US, right? Um, but yeah, I mean, there is that is just more of a kind of a band aid till you can either move to Windows 11 or get a new device that has Windows 11 already. But curious to see what you guys think about the whole shifting operating
I
systems.
feel like the jump that was, let's call it XP to 7, right? Because I'm sure, yeah, sorry, XP to Vista and then 7.
What's Vista?
My bad. Nah, I'm talking major, right?
Yeah.
XP was like pioneering, right? Nobody wanted to move from XP, and then 7 became the new polished XP, I guess. Obviously, it's very much not the case, but it's not 10 to 11 is not XP to Vista. It's it is it's like a refinement of 10. There is no there is
10.1. Yeah.
there is just no we're not going down the 8.1 route, mate. Like we know that start button's coming back, all right? No, but I think that obviously there's probably some applications which, should catch up and whatnot, but the fear, I guess, of the migration from one to another is, it's we're in a new generation now of like it's not the 2000s anymore. Like it's very much the jump shouldn't be that bad, and really the platform itself.
Talking about talking about that. Have you guys heard about this thing called EKBs, enablement packages? Um, I think that's a good segue if you want me to
Yeah,
continue.
absolutely.
Um,
Please
so
elaborate.
yeah, for sure. So 24H2, you got Windows 11 24H2, and they are announcing 25H2 announced already. And
It's
that's
H1.
yeah. um, that change is basically seamless. That's what they say. So it's called so while you have your 24H2 up and running, it just downloads in a staged way the 25H2, and just keeps there in the machine silently. It will not do any changes, and the machine at some point will receive something called EKB or entitlement KB or entitlement package, what they call. So that's the flag to enable the 25H2 stuff. So once it's once it's received, the device should be restarted. So most probably that there'll be something in the auto patching or in the update rings, and then once you restart it, the new features are available for you. So it's not taking 1 hour to upgrade from 24H2 to 25H2. Things are downloaded in a stage manner, and then it will be switched to 25H2 once they receive the enablement flag. So which is a cool way to go. But if you are running, because we talked about the Windows 10 here, if you're going from Windows 10 to 25H2 straight away, you can't at this stage. You need to upgrade it to Windows 11 24H2 first, and then from that point onwards, it's a jump. It's a seamless upgrade to 25H2, which I think really cool, and silent and painless. Yeah.
Somewhat painless. No, I think I guess it's a testament that Microsoft identified that period of time waiting for your updates has been. I guess it's probably also alongside some of the capabilities they're rolling out in regards to the hot patching and whatnot. So like they're obviously aware that there is things that they can do and work around and to keep more of an uptime for SLA, because it's operation is everything at these stages. So no, it's good to hear that it's not just patching, that they're really thinking about at this level. It's starting to be everything.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd say back on the what's upcoming in terms of events would be the yet another summer camp, which I believe now it's the Entra Suite camp. So around about the time that I believe you'll be speaking at the Zero to Hero, August 4th to 7th, is the unified access, streamlined employee lifecycle, secure access to on-prem apps, and govern internet resources. So essentially it is the Entra Suite and all of the boot camps associated to it. So for those that have not attended one of those camps or boot camps, they are remote. They are not a proper camp. Sorry. But I think the idea of it is that it really starts to deep dive into some of the capabilities associated to the Entra Suite. So to recap over the last couple, there was a biz apps or modern applications side of boot camp. There was also oh my god, there was tons. And now my brain's just
Yeah, I don't think this one is in the same like format of those ones,
on.
in that you don't get any badging and you don't get codes and stuff, but it's still valuable to register, and maybe watch a recording because it'll be more palatable time. But it's going to explore everything that comes in Entra Suite. So everything around identity protection and governance, and even the global secure access. I think it's just really focusing on those core components of the Entra Suite, whereas the other boot camps was very broad. Because speaking of, there is the Microsoft Cloud and AI boot camp, which is actually sooner than that one. I believe that's the 22nd to the 25th of July, and that is as the name alludes to, it's everything of AI again, and the cloud. So it's really Microsoft AI agents, developers using AI, empowering everyone to use their tools. Um, yeah, we'll drop the links to all these events for you to register in the show notes afterwards or in the description. But yeah, there's tons of learning to be done at these events.
I was going to say, I guess pivoting more so to, I mean, there's been a lot of security, I guess, incidents that have occurred in the past. What feels like a couple of weeks, but probably it's only been a couple of days that all of these have kind of come out of the woodworks. Um, I guess I'm happy to talk on a couple of them, but I know everybody's probably keen to talk on the same ones.
Yeah. Do
I'll,
you
I'll
do you want to jump into that, or maybe we can finish off something on Defender or in Intune? That's something exciting
Yeah,
to see. Yeah,
yeah,
something like that.
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, in terms of, I guess what's, I think we touched on last week, last podcast in regards to the Entra ID. The agents are now having specific, unique managed identities for authentication. That essentially allows for things like least privilege and conditional access policies to be applied against, really giving, I guess, that extra layer of protection for people to be able to access some of these agents. So once again, agents are now being, I guess, given an ID. So it's no different to, I guess, a device or a user. They are being lumped in the same category, which is awesome advancement.
and they can and they're tracked when they're shared externally as well to another company or business. It's the same ID, so you can see what it's doing elsewhere. But it also means like you're only managing or developing in the one spot.
Cool. Yeah, I'll quickly jump onto something which I think it's exciting because I've done some work in the same area. So device isolation for security operation analysts. This is a must-have tool. How to isolate devices in a security incident and things like that. And if you're doing your automation, your SOAR stuff, or your playbooks, logic apps, whatever, this device isolation is really important as well. So all this time the device isolation was full device isolation, so it only maintains the well, not only, so it means the device maintains the connectivity with the Defender Cloud. So you can unisolate the device, you can do all the other residual risk assessment, or maybe find out what's going on the device. And you have a tick box to enable Outlook connectivity, maintain the Outlook connectivity while the device is isolated, or Teams as well, if my memory is right. But now it's still in preview. It's been it's been released a couple of days ago, if I'm correct. Selective device isolation. So with the selective device isolation, I can probably share my screen.
Yeah.
Just quickly. Um,
Let me do this side of things.
yeah. So with the selective device isolation, you first have to enable it in your advanced features for endpoint. That's for Defender for endpoint, as you always do for the other settings as well. So once it's there, it's pretty much here. You create a rule just to make sure. Let's say it doesn't have to be Teams, for an example, but let's say if there's a remote help tool, TeamViewer or remote help or whatever, or maybe an application that needs to maintain the connectivity even during a device isolation incident, you can create that rule here. saying what's the application, what's the process path, and what's the IP address, inbound or outbound. So you can create that rule here and leave it. So when you are isolating a device manually from Defender, you can say in here, quickly jump on to just one device I have in my tenant. So yeah, so when you are isolating the device, you can say isolating the exclusion rules that you created earlier. So how the exclusion logic works, if you have the rule, if it matches everything, then the rule will be applied. There can be 10 rules you have created, but not all the things getting applied. So you can't selectively select the rules. But yeah, anything that's basically matching everything, that will get applied during the isolation. So that's a really good thing. And also they have mentioned it's been added to the API as well, which is cool. So at the moment, so this is basically for your automation stuff, right? So your graph API. So this is what you do, the full isolation, but you have the selective isolation option as well. Yeah, so restrict only limited set of applications, which can be used easily. And yes, that's again, uh, there are some, limitations for the devices and stuff. So if I can show that to you, Windows 11 and Windows 10 with a certain patching level, and also the servers as well. Let me see if I can get that.
I guess whilst you're grabbing that, I think it makes perfect sense. I guess use cases for that would be if you still want to be able to keep communication channels open to that device, or if you wanted to be able to limit it from being able to access your environment, but you still want to be able to remote onto it. It's giving that hybrid, workplace some functionality. There might be businesses out there that run off a VPN, or have an any always on VPN, where isolating the device essentially will kill the VPN, which essentially means that you would need to have that device shipped back to you to be able to, update and edit and go through the whole USB process. I believe that's still the case. This obviously gives you that functionality to kind of say, actually, we want to block everything except here's a list of things that allows us to be able to, get onto the device and make the adjustments we need.
Yeah.
But the modern version of safe mode with networking.
Yeah. Oh my God, true.
It's core memory.
Just one more thing to add before we go to the other section. So, so as I said, this is how the logic works for exclusion, and there are some limitations as well. Well, it's going around the whole logic of how the rules getting applied to the device, and also I haven't seen how this will work in a automated in investigation and response Defender AIR situation, because in the Defender AIR, it's basically isolated. It does a full isolation. So it's because this is still in preview. I'm hoping that they would add that option as well. If that's configurable, then what will happen if you have created the device group that will go with AIR? What will happen in an AIR situation? Will Defender does that selectively, or does that full isolation as always as it does? So that's something which I like to see in this feature, that can be helpful for lots of SOC, sort of lots of SOCs and lots of operators out there who are doing the security analyst stuff. Yeah, so that's very exciting for me. So I thought maybe I'll just share that information.
No, that's brilliant. I think you're absolutely right. I think there's an element where, with the AIR, automated investigation response, the isolate device, even if it is, where it gets configured in terms of the within device group, etc.,
Yeah,
etc. Even if it
yeah,
is like a tick box function that's
yeah,
or somewhere within advanced settings that says if the device is isolated, a drop down under where it says that it says will AIR default to full or default to with
zero.
exclusions where
Yeah,
you kind of need to make that business decision where if full exclusion is going to break your operation, then you default to one way. Obviously, I don't think you should have too much granularity. It should be an on or off. I think don't
yeah, yeah,
overcomplicate it. But no,
yeah,
once again, I think that's an awesome feature because it's always something that I've heard come up in the woodworks as if this isolates, then we lose VPN connectivity and then we lose the
correct.
ability to work. So
Yeah,
um,
yeah,
no, that's awesome.
yeah. I think that's it from me. But in tune, I think probably just touch base on the whole security baseline. I think that happened a couple of days ago. So I think when moving from 23H2 to 24H2 Windows baseline, security baseline, so you can migrate your settings. But what happened basically, anything that you have created as customizations in the baseline, when you are moving it to the 24H2, that customization loses. So that was the actual, the news that was there everywhere in LinkedIn as well. But I think what really happens when you're moving, the customization won't break, but it will it will check with what's the default value of the 24H2, and the most secure and the most restrictive setting would win. So I don't know, one can say it can be still a breaking change, but it's not really, you know, I don't know whether you can export or export your changes first and then import it back. You can, as you can do in the settings catalog. But yeah, it's kind of interesting situation if you are moving, something to look out for either way. When you're migrating your settings from baselines from 23H2 to 24H2. Yeah.
I think it's another one of those highlights of don't test in prod and put together
Yes.
yourself a pilot group of
Yes.
devices
Definitely.
and
Yeah.
stress
Yeah.
test it to the extent that you need it to and make sure that the settings that are carried over I would assume that it would still allow for the Excel spreadsheet of the discrepancies between the comparison where you would decide what's new, what's old, what's depreciated now.
Yeah.
um, it would, yeah, I would say that that would still be the best approach. Don't just cut, copy, paste, hope for
Definitely.
the best.
Yeah. Yeah.
This might be one of those ones you do need to kind of be a bit more fine tooth comb and double check before you even before you deploy it to your pilot group. But
Yeah.
once again, I think in the spirit of security, as long as the I guess the most secure setting wins, the worst that happens is that you need to kind of tone back the security because something you didn't have enabled is now enabled, or along those lines.
Yeah. 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 I think that's it from me for now.
Mm.
I mean, I'd love to talk about all these security incidents that have been happening. Like everything is just everything is just falling around us.
Well,
Um,
in order of appearance,
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh god.
and it is just in the last 2 weeks, right?
Yeah. Every single what I would state at least within Australia, uh, major organization. I'm not saying every. That's very obviously a lie. But some big names have been either caught in breaches or some sort of attack. Um, I guess who wants to start off with number one on it?
Well, yeah, these attacks are again very social engineering type of attacks. It's not, actual hacking in a way. Very social engineering airlines. To start with.
Popular national and international airlines.
Yeah, yeah. So I was looking at the whole scattered spider articles. It's everywhere in the internet right now. What they've been doing all this time, how they are moving from one industry to the other industry. So they think the recent attack is also from this the same sort of hacker group that been doing all this stuff. So I've been reading about the CISA or CISA um, information about that. The playbook is just right there. It's just I can again share my
Yeah,
screen.
absolutely. What is
So it's
penalty?
pretty much what they have done. And yeah, so this is pretty much the playbook and the tools that they've been using. Enables remote monitoring systems, Mimikatz, of course, and also like things like TeamViewer, right? So getting the access, and also uh,
The malware used.
yeah, okay. Sorry, I'm just distracted by the name of that. Yeah, it's just showing that showing like presenting as a stressed employee or someone who's on the line saying, "Oh, I'm just heading out right now. I need to reset my password or something like that." So giving that false sense of having very urgent, and then of course faking it out, and tricking the actual contact center or whatever the person to do those stuff. And also what the other stuff that this group is doing, sim swapping attacks. So easily you can get MFA dropped into the other phone, and things like that. This is where another reason why you need to have the actual authenticator, but not the MFA, the SMS code coming into your phone, right? And also, password resets and everything that can happen with this SIM attacks, SIM swap attacks. So this is basically what they have done, and it's pretty much well written out there as well. So it can happen to any organization, right? So it's not just the airline industry. So good to do that due diligence. Understanding it's not just hacking, not just real hacking, but social engineering involves in a great way in these sort of things. So understanding and basically getting ready.
I think it highlights two very important, I guess, aspects, and it is the strength of a multi-factor authentication does play a big factor in this. As you can see, subscriber identified module or a SIM swap attack, and then the
Yeah.
ability to essentially bypass MFA or have a simple tool. I mean, passwordless. I know it's expensive, but it'll get through. I think another one to highlight, probably another one of those situations where Entra Suite and the boot camp coming up is probably a good timing, is that external ID, as much as I'm pretty sure it's not available in Australia yet. But the idea of being able to have a verification push, I
Yes.
guess, is
Yeah.
is is essentially, it should be the only thing that allows for a password change is upon a verification, whether that be obviously please come to Australia soon, but that side of things should be almost mandatory. Obviously, it's for good reason. Obviously, it's a part of the
Yeah.
Entra Suite and whatnot. It's not Australia,
Yeah.
etc. But these are the reasons why us, I guess, security professionals push to have a better MFA method. It's not just because we, want to cause you an interruption or we want to, make things a little bit harder for you. It's because it can be you just operating upon your day to day, doing the best job you
Yeah.
can, helping someone in distress that you believe is who you believe it is, and then absolutely, having the situation, fall out from underneath you.
And yeah, exactly. Word to word. Definitely, that's correct. And the things like Mimikatz, it's a well-known tool that used to do extraction of credentials. So what I'm trying to say that is, if you have enabled your ASR rules, so there's just one rule looking at the LSAS process just to see what's actually been extracted, so and stops, right? So they if organizations have those enabled, but not in the audit mode, but in the block mode, these sort of things can be minimized, and I definitely can identify it in the first port of attack as well. And also, this a lot of things are like Screen Connect, Teamweaver. They are legitimate tools, right? So this is RMM, but yeah, um, identifying, having those restrictions on the devices, saying okay, only these help tools can be connected, but others will be blocked or something like that, by using your whatever the security tool that you're using. Lots of things can be reduced. Harm can be reduced. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think you've absolutely nailed it. I think legitimate tools used by the Scatter Spider. If you're aware that they are not tools which I guess sanctioned or within your SOE of your environment, even just if you've got your standard seam tool, you could probably set up a pretty basic analytic rule to just double check that those executables which would be associated to that are non-existent or are not running within your environment, because I guess some of these things could lay lurking for a period of time, where setting up a general analytic rule to just double check if they are running. Mimicaps, I'll use as the example. You might not know if your infrastructure team or your endpoint management team has ASR in place, on block mode, but you do have the ability of putting together an analytic rule to be able to monitor and check for those applications, especially if they're not allowed within your environment.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
It was
So
it was it was it was not them directly. It was one of their call centers, I believe, that the
one of the call
breach.
centers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So whom to know, right? Because
Hmm.
organization should identify or understand what sort of privileges or access these other third party or outsourced places got. That's not This should be number one. Like
Hmm.
access reviews, frequent access reviews is, that's very important as well, to understand those sort of things.
I can only imagine a complete overhaul along all of the airlines to make sure that they're all like compliant and secure, right? So
Yeah.
it's just like a wake up call to make sure that
Yeah.
this doesn't happen again.
Yeah.
I think the only thing really protecting the PII of people, well, it didn't really protect the PII because it was all leaked, but those accounts, I think the only thing preventing third parties from logging in is like a 4-digit PIN that they didn't have in the leak. So all the
Yeah.
names, addresses, frequent flyer point membership numbers and all that, that's been leaked, but they don't have the PIN, so they can't effectively get in, but still it's pretty bad because all that
Yeah.
information's out in the wild now.
Yeah, I guess it's one of those, one more, victory within, from the adversary would have been a lot more costly. And it wouldn't have just been, your flight number and, your name that unfortunately got leaked in this situation.
Yeah.
I imagine some people having huge amounts of points, having them drained would not be nice.
I don't. I'm getting there.
No. Oh, not with this airline, but yeah. Yeah.
But no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
You jump on the other one,
Yeah,
Anto?
actually, I might actually jump in here before
Yeah.
we had
Yeah.
a list of these to go through, but this one I did look into and I completely forgot about it. But a group called AIM Security or AIM Labs. Um, I might steal the screen
Yeah. Go for it.
sharing
Yeah. Yeah.
once I
Thank you
figure
so
it
much.
out.
Yeah.
I hope that works. Cool. So this is just their website here, assuming you guys can see it. I'm going to make it a bit wider so it's also janky on the. There we go.
Now we're
All
talking.
right. So Echo Leak is the name of this ability. So AIM Security, these are the guys who earlier in the year they dissected M365 Copilot. They reverse engineered it and discovered all the things that make it tick. And as once they've done that, the next thing was obviously them to figure out how can we break it or do some damage, right? So with any large language model, not just Copilot, they discovered that they could actually bypass some of the sensitivity controls and protections by figuring out if they sent through an email that had a bit of an animation going in here. The prompt, Copilot mistakes the email that comes in as a prompt that then surface that information, and it kind of somehow bypasses all protections in place. So this has now been since patched. So Microsoft and AIM and whoever else were involved, they've gone through to make sure that this isn't a thing anymore. But in terms of other public large language models and AI, it's still potential threat, and they're labeled as a zero-click. So nobody has to click anything. They've just sent an email and it just happened. And if a reply comes back, then it may contain some of that information. So if you head up the website here, there's a little bit of information. There is a link to the actual blog post where they go through and they break down step by step how they figured out, oh, this is how we can circumvent this. So let's use Teams here and SharePoint there, and they're able to figure out where all the abilities were and create this new attack chain. So it was pretty scary at the same time, but also good that they kind of identified it so that it could be fixed. So yeah, I just want to bring that one up.
And I think there was a SharePoint new feature or new setting that came up as well just after this one or just a couple of days ago. For every SharePoint site that you can create a Copilot related restriction, like another barrier or something like that. I can't really remember what that was, but I think I
Is
saw
that
something.
is that like the old trick where you'd stop it from indexing so that it wouldn't be able to be
I can't remember.
Was it part of SharePoint Advanced Management?
Advanced management, something related to advanced management.
Okay. Yeah, that's more down to like security groups. Like you can target a certain access, certain libraries, or certain about.
Yeah, I think
But that was already there. So if it's something new, might not be it.
yeah. So I think it's related to prevent control sprawl, streamline access management for SharePoint and OneDrive, analyze usage patterns, comprehensive reporting. So that's actually the advanced management overview. But there was this one setting that just basically blocks something that related to Copilot.
Totally slipped my mind. I'll just check if I sent myself the link as I normally do.
Yeah.
check the repository, check the chat, check the chat.
Yeah, the chat with yourself, right? Because the
Yeah.
echo chamber.
Yeah, I'm the only person who listens to me.
Yeah, pretty much. No,
I
I
guess
don't mean anything about that.
yeah, I was gonna say at least whilst we're looking at that, what I might do is I might bring up one of the other, I guess, accidental mishaps within the AI space. Let me figure out how I can share my own screen. Because
While you're looking for that, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Andrew, the restrict content from Microsoft 365 Copilot, the Pro feature, there's a switch on off option. Was that there earlier?
Restricted content discovery. RCD.
Yeah, it says not
Yeah.
sorry, it says
That one?
content restrict content from Microsoft 365 Copilot. So restrict content from
Okay.
maybe
Yeah,
that's the one.
I think that is a later thing because if you're not using sensitivity labels to say don't let Copilot use it, I think they've added in that feature in SAM.
Let me.
What do we have here?
Oh, we're name dropping now. We're allowed to.
No, of course not. No, of course not. Let me just make this a bigger window because this is some. I mean, I'm not name dropping anything, but I'll name drop the chatbot, which, hang on.
It's all over the page.
Nobody knows what it is now.
So, yeah,
No, I mean, look, this is public information. It's not like I'm trying to. No, this is one of those situations where you should probably update your default credentials if you are going to go live with a product or a feature or a chat bot, we'll call it.
You can use application IDs or another like a certificate based or something like that, or maybe a secret that's saved in somewhere else. Not in the
all absolutely great ideas that would far surpass default credentials. Now, all I'm going to say is that 64 million job applications were leaked. I'm sure that that's not the greatest look, but this is just one of those ones which we won't talk too much into this one because this is pretty self-explanatory. But the default credentials of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 probably wasn't the best move. I'll leave it at there. But just wanted to highlight another, yet again, AI breach, we'll call it, which has been used to collect personal information, was discovered on a chatbot. I'll call it that. That'll be it. That's all I'm going to say on that one.
That's wild. I think and probably maybe the last breach that we had in the last week, a global distributor, again, not naming any names, but fell victim to the SafePay ransomware last Thursday morning, and they were down for several days. Yeah, so they discovered that they had the ransomware on people's devices, and immediately told people to shut down, disconnect, and work from home, and all that stuff, just to reduce the lateral movement or any further damages. They suspect that it was through the Global Protect VPN platform. Which is that a Palo Alto product, maybe? So they got in through that VPN, but the VPN itself wasn't compromised. It was likely to do compromised credentials or leaked ones or whatever. Just similar to the example you just showed me there. Not quite as default, but it could be common, and you might have been breached elsewhere. So again, make sure that you keep your passwords updated, turn on MFA everywhere. At the same time, these guys also enabled an AI tool, and there were one speculation has this now done the rounds, but coincidence maybe. But it seems like they've now since started bringing systems back online. But even that, it's almost a week since that happened. But having 4 or 5 days, it's 4th of July in America as well, the weekend, so maybe it wasn't so bad. But there's at least 3 business days of business transactions there that were down. So it's a pretty costly incident, and I guess it's for everyone and every organization out there. Really, it's more being aware of the impact that happens from even the simplest thing, such as making sure your password's not simple or leaked out in the wild or something like that. So
absolutely.
yeah, bit depressing. So let's not talk about breaches.
I was going to say, I guess, Have I Been Pawned? The website just brought out version 2. So if you are not aware if you've been in any sort of breach, probably a great time to go and chuck your email into haveibeenpawned.com. They've just revamped the site itself.
Just closing that from my end is basically, I think that's been updated by or advised by FBI as well, if I'm correct, or NSA, can't remember. It's just not if my organization got hacked, when my organization got hacked. So it's always to be when, always have to be ready. Make your guardrails up and running. Have to be updated with what's happening in the world. Make sure that they are basically working in order to reduce the harm, stop the harm, and be ready because it's always out there.
That same messaging. We are always an inherent risk to ourselves.
Yeah.
I think, the more public you are, the more likely you are to be targeted. In saying that, you don't have to be public to be targeted. Everybody is just as equal. It's just some people have a bit more of a limelight shine towards their direction, which is unfortunate.
The systems don't get targeted. It's the people and the identities, because they're the weakest line of defense.
Yeah.
Something entra. Something.
All right.
Were there any other
Uh,
announcements you know of, Andrew?
I think the only other thing I'd want to mention is just this morning, something called Microsoft Elevate was announced, and this is through the Microsoft Philanthropies and their Tech for Social Impact, which is the non-for-profit space. Those two teams have now come together to work with education, businesses, and so on to, I believe, by next 2 years, they want to be able to help globally skill up 20 million people earning an in-demand AI skilling credential. So large number. I know ISC2 did a 1 million certified in cybersecurity fundamentals in the last. It's ongoing, but 20 million people in 2 years. Oh, it's 10 million in a year, right? So it's it's a lot of training to go on. But I think what they're targeting is education space. So it's on their main website, it's opportunity for every classroom, every change maker, and every community. The change maker thing I think comes out of the 50-year anniversary of mine. So we're all part of that change
Yeah.
making. But I think moving. I just got announced this morning, so I suspect messaging will be, "Hey, learn AI" in the next few months. So don't be surprised if that's all you see on LinkedIn.
I'd probably just default and assume that it's probably AI 900, the foundational exam, the contents associated to it, learning about its use, learning
Or
about.
even just like applied skills as well, because they're likely to be, people who aren't going to pay to or be able to pay for some of this training, right? And if schools and higher education they work it into the curriculum, then even better.
Yeah, definitely AI is becoming a non-negotiable. So it's good to learn the kids when they're young,
Uh,
so they are ready. Yeah. So
even in our Discord channel today, there's just comments around kids at the moment they're learning with tablets and digital devices, but they
yeah,
can't type. They don't, they're losing those like skills. And if AI is coming up next, and you want to give them the best chance moving
That's
forward.
I guess, yeah, that reminds me. I was invited to join. In WA we have a couple of TAFEs, so that's like obviously not university. It's more the I guess the
yeah,
practicals. I got asked to join the Industry's Advisory Board, which is essentially looking for professionals within the industry to come and help curate the curriculum associated to what is in demand and what is within the environment. What are we using within, so that they can structure courses associated to specific tooling. So if you're going to try and learn app development at TAFE, they want to know what languages are in demand at the moment, or if you want to, look towards a cybersecurity, it's like what tools, what's in that space. So yeah, I got invited to join the industry's advisory board for that, which kind of allows me to have a bit of a say in what some of the up and coming youth will be learning to be able to hopefully have a better hit the ground running in the workforce. So I guess on the education and upskilling and looking towards the youth, that was one that I probably forgot I had been invited to join, but we'll chuck it in there as well.
good.
There
Nice.
was a mention that they are looking towards what AI would look like in the force, and whether they incorporate AI alongside their existing courses or whether they have a specific course. I think that's one of the things that will come up in discussion, because as everybody said, it's AI is a tool for doing your, like, you're assisting in your job. Is it sensible to have a course on it, or would it be more sensible to have a course where AI is alongside the thing you are learning? So rather than it just being cybersecurity, it would be cybersecurity and the use of AI in cybersecurity, or app development and the use of AI. It's just Copilot GPT, it's just,
Yeah,
GitHub Copilots, and
it'll end up being all of the above. Even like some of the content that AI is generating content to train you about AI as well now. So I think they'll just be able to go teach the students, and yeah, the actual educators don't have to do as much. But then the challenge then is, what do they have to put together in terms of the
Yeah.
syllabus and the courseware, right? So at a actually, I don't know, we haven't mentioned this yet. On the flight back from Seattle to San Fran, yeah. So after the summit, I actually sat next to the position was like Chancellor of Trob, in Victoria, Melbourne. And yeah, we had a chat around, because she was actually at Microsoft for the education executive briefing, and we just like chatted around impact of AI in education, and what are the struggles with I guess learning content, because you need to be able to show and present the latest in AI and IT in general to the students. So how are you supposed to do that? Like, because if you got stuff changing every 2 weeks, your course where needs to have that same cadence. So they're tackling that as well. So it's not like it's not being considered. It is an existing challenge. So it'll be good to see how maybe this Elevate thing helps with that as well. Because if they are buying it heavily to Microsoft's ecosystem, then yeah.
Look, fingers are crossed. It's it makes sense that this all kind of aligns. But yeah, fingers are crossed that it all goes ahead well, because I think it's a good endeavor. It's a good initiative. It's a pretty big number, So let's
Yeah.
but
It's actually look if you think about how we all started, and the certifications were there, but no one was actually promoting those stuff to learn. If it's like, if you want to learn these other certifications, we got a few, do it, and then you can just find a job, or you can excel in your career. But now it's totally different. It's just a hell lot of resources out there, and a lot of initiatives, as we just discussed, to learn about those technologies, and pretty much anything that you would like to do in the future. Yeah.
I'm a sucker for swag, like this jumper, like hashtag proud to be certified. Hashtag, yeah. Right. This is like get a cert, pass the exam, get your cert, and do a LinkedIn post and submit it to Microsoft, and they'll send you a hoodie. And I was like, amazing.
I think I didn't get a hoodie. I got a shirt and a sticker.
Yeah, that was So when they ran out of hoodies, they started doing shirts. I missed out on the shirts.
What do you mean? I'd want a hood. I'd want a hoodie. Like, come on now.
I have 3 hoodies. No shirt.
All right, mate.
Actually, they changed the design. The old one had the smaller logo. I actually like that one more. And the hashtag was on the back, but blue. So yeah,
I've seen a lot of pretty decent swag come out. As I said, I was super happy after I did the Global AI boot camp. Michelle chucked me a pair of Clippy socks. I swear,
nice.
I swear I've worn a hole in them, because I've been making Copilot Studio agents, and it's like, what do you want to make your icon? I'm like, everything is Clippy. Like, every agent that I make has the Clippy icon. It's super confusing, but it's Clippy's life.
Yeah, represent.
It'd be like the Octocat from GitHub, right? A different Clippy like accoutrement per agent. So it's got a hat. It's like the Malibu Stacy doll.
I'm in. I think I was talking with folk at work, and we were talking about how Clippy kind of like was revolutionary, but then we started going through like all the others that weren't Clippy that was the same thing. There was the dog in the kennel, and then there was a range of them, and like we were just like reminiscing over them. There was I think some fandom wiki thing which was just like shown all of them. There was a robot, and there was it was good. But yeah, get on old Clippy. But no, I need some more Microsoft merch, that's for sure. Clippy, my socks are almost got holes in them, man. No.
Got a Clippy right here.
Yes. Oh wait, is that what?
Random MVP on the summit.
Is that the Workplace Ninja as well?
That's Ninja Cat. Ninja Cat?
Yeah.
Or Workplace Ninja?
Ninja Cat. Yeah.
Too much. All I got is just.
Over here.
I just got regular cat.
All right. Well, if that's all we got, then yeah, Thanks again for tuning in, listening to us wag our chins and so on. But look forward to seeing you all again next time. And yeah, hopefully with some good news. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
No. Take care, everybody. Thanks again.
Thank you all.
See ya.